we are in the middle of Navarathri. There are so many meanings of Navarathri. One, of course, is the most popular from for 9 days, ending with the 10th day, which is Vijayadashmi. We celebrate Gauri. And we celebrate technically the victory of good over evil. Srividya, the word. Sri, of course, means Aishwaryam. Sri is another word for Lakshmi. Sri, the Srisha, Srinivasa. It's all Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu without Lakshmi becomes a Daridra Narayana. And Shiva without Shakti, you know what that happens. And even Tyagaraja Swamigal, who was the greatest bhakta of Sri Rama, he wrote a kriti which is Ma Janaki Jadabattaga. That is without Janaki, Ma Janaki Jadabattaga Rama. That is Rama without Janaki or Sita, you are nothing but a corpse. Imagine. This Tyagaraja Swamigal who is writing this. Now, Shri, with my apologies to all the Pandits here, because I am not a Pandit. I am just somebody who is fooling around in Ambal's great courtyard. That's all. Shri, there is another meaning of Shri, and that is poison. So, Srividya, wrongly handled, can be poison. The one trend which I see now, there are many people who recite shlokas just as stutis. They say that in Kaligalam, the greatest yajnam is Namajapam. That's the safest also. It does not have side effects. But when you start being an active practitioner of any mantra siddhi, irrespective, you have to be very careful. You can either go the jnana way, which is you say, okay, this, you learn. Okay, and you say, you study the points and you practice. That is the jnana siddhi. The other thing is the kriya siddhi, where you do certain rituals, also prescribed rituals, and that gives you a certain result. Both these ways are very effective, very good, but you cannot afford to go out of the format of both these. The other way is the Bhakti Marga. When it is Bhakti Marga, somewhere there is no difference between the devotee and what the devotee is devoted to. It is like the Surya and sunlight. Sunlight is of course separate from Surya. Sunlight comes from the sun. Yet there is an unbreakable relationship between these two. You cannot envisage a sun without sunlight. Likewise, you cannot envisage sunlight without the source of the sun. When you celebrate Navarathri, apart from the traditional thing, one more meaning of Nava is new. My request to everybody is that make every day a Navarathri. Every day. Worship her. You don't have to worship Ambal. I am mad about Ambal, okay? I am not a devotee. But I am telling you, you don't have to worship Ambal. You can worship Shiva, you can worship Muruga, you can worship Ganesha, you can worship Ayyappa, you can worship whoever you are most comfortable with. But have a link. What is it? When you see a person, let's say I am dead, okay? Other people will handle my body. Every night I go to sleep, Nischala. But then I wake up. When I am dead, that will not happen. That is the difference between maranam and sleep. Something which is in me, something which is, you can call it soul, you can call it atma, you can call it chaitanya, something which is in me, which is inherently in me, which I need not be aware of 24/7, has moved away from my body. That chaitanya, whatever you call it, that chaitanya is God. We are all amshams of that great Shakti. By Shakti, I don't necessarily mean Bhagavati. It's energy. Because Parabrahman is nothing but energy. Hinduism and physics are very closely connected. There's a lot of science about it. Before I forget, okay, because I've already forgotten, I should actually thank Swamiji for inviting me for this seminar. Okay, I clean forgot, because once I hear Bhagavati, then I go off on a tangent. That Swamiji well knows. So please forgive me for that. Now, I would like to share a shloka with you. Navarathri, yeah. Mrityostulyam trilokim grasitu matirasa nisrita kimnu jihva kimva krishna ankri patmadyutibhir arudita vishnu padya padavya yadrichhigam bhayam bhagavati humbhat swaha yadanti yaccha durake bhayam vindadi mamiha pavamana vidajjahi abadome nashaya nashaya sampadome prapaya sakala manorathanme swadhaya sadhaya om am hrim krom ehyehi parameshwari swaha durgam devim sharanamaham prapadye prapta sandhyasmarare swayamutanautibhististra ityuhyamana devair devya trishulakshata mahisha jusho raktathara jayanti swaha. The meaning of this slogam is, whatever is negative in this world, she whose tongue just laps up everything that is negative in this world. The problem is, when I break it up, I have to, think of it. Otherwise, it comes like a pravaham. Kimva Krishnanki. Okay, she whose black feet are lit up. And how are they lit up? From the gems on the crown of Mahavishnu who is prostrating. Now, lots of Vaishnavas will have problems with this. Rightly so. They should have problems. I come from Travancore, and Sri Padmanabha is the tutelary deity. He is the Sthala Devata also, Raksha Devata. So one of the slogans is Omkara Rupa Kamaniya Padaravinda Sri Vanchi Bhupa Kula Devata Vishwarupa Sheshe Shayana Shiva Pujana Padmahasta. This is another issue. Why should Mahavishnu do puja to Shiva? So the Vaishnavites say Shiva took refuge under Padmanabha Swami's hands. That is what they say. But the Shaivites say, no, he is doing worship. So what is happening is, look at all of you. To your parents, you are a child. Okay? To your brothers and sisters, your siblings, akka, anni, annile, akka, anna, tambi, etc. To your grandparents, you are generally spoiled brats of grandchildren. To your husband or wife, you are the spouse. To your children, you are amma or appa. All these are referring to the same person. Okay. And it is stupid on our part to say that when I am answering to daughter from my parents, I cannot answer to akka from my siblings. If I start thinking like that, I am a bipolar person. So anybody who divides divinity is doing psychic bipolarity. Please desist. உங்களுக்கு யாரை வேணுமோ நீங்க நினைச்சிடுங்க. உங்க இதயத்துல யார் இருக்கோ, which is the first thing that comes to your mind, that is your Ishta Devata. And believe me, you don't choose your Ishta Devata, your Ishta Devata chooses you. somewhere you get attached to some Ishwaran for whatever reason. So that is how the relationship between a human being and divinity happens. And when you extend this slightly further, it also points out that he or she does not have enough confidence in their own belief. Okay? You take the slogam, you take any slogam. You take the Devi Puranam, they will say that Devi is greater than anything. You take the Skanda Puranam, they will say Murugan is greater than everything. So, it is a point of view. And if by listening to Shiva Puranam, I say, okay, now I am going to dump, okay, Bhagavati ella irukku, Bhagavati is Shiva's wife, so she can be Mrs. Shiva. Nenichu, appadi naan vekka maten. Shiva Puranam is beautiful in itself. Vishnu Puranam is beautiful in itself. What we have to tell ourselves in this Navarathri is, let us first look. This is the hardest part, okay? Let us look at what is negative in ourselves. It's a very ugly vision, okay? And most people would prefer not to look at it. They would prefer to look at the problems in other people. Because then it relieves me of the responsibility. Let us look at what is negative in ourselves. First, let us look at it. Then think of ways of handling it. Handling it in such a way that it does not affect other people. I, as a human being, has full rights. So do each one of you. As long as my rights don't interfere with your rights, things are okay. But the moment my right becomes so important or so huge that it encroaches on your rights, that is where conflict arises. It has become very fashionable to say that Bhagavati and Mahishasura fought it out 9 days and finally she killed him. First of all, have you ever wondered who created Mahishasura? Was it another god in another belief system? Or was she herself, Jagat Janini, was she not the creator of Mahisha? And if she created Mahisha, are you telling me that she didn't know how to handle him? And what was Mahisha's greatest fault? Okay, he was an ahankari. He did a lot of tapas. You take all the demons. They are not people who inherit things. They work their back off, and they get siddhis, they get boons, and then of course it goes to their head and they misuse it. And that's what happens. Even Mahabali. Okay, even though I don't think he was that much of an egoist as the devas would have us believe. What is it that Mahishasura wanted? Mahishasura said, look, Bhagavati was created to kill him. Okay. Each god gave their powers. Yama gave the hair. Oro Shakti gave one aspect of us, and she was created to kill Mahishasura. What happened? Mahishasura, as usual, he did a lot of penances, he asked for a lot of boons, and he also asked very, very, very predictably for immortality. Every Rakshasan asked for immortality. And of course, immortality, once you're born, you have to go. So he says, nobody should kill me. He gives a whole list, but he omits the word woman. That's how she takes an avataram to kill him. But when the story goes that she, fully armed, she sat on a lion. The lion was given to her by Himavan outside Mahishmati, and she started singing. So, எல்லாரும் என்ன இது, who's singing? And then Mahisha sends out his people, his army, and she tells them that, his generals say that, oh, she's a very beautiful woman, she should marry Mahisha. Mahisha deserves a wife like her. So she says, I will marry only somebody who I defeat in war. And then the entire war happens. At one point, in the Devi Puranam, there is a Mahisha Bhagavati Samvadam. Because all the Mahisha's henchmen are all killed. So it's between Mahisha and Bhagavati. And Mahisha says, what is it that you want? So she says, you have taken Indrasanam. You've taken, Indra's kingdom. You have no right. That is Indra's. How dare you? So he said, okay, you have asked me to return it, I'll return it. He only tells her one thing. I want to marry you. I am in love with you. Simple. Very simple. And she keeps on telling him, she keeps on warning him, I have been created to kill you. Go. You have the Atala, Sutala, Vetala, the Satala, Talatala, Mahatala, Patala of the underworld. Just as you have the Purvua, the Padinal Logam, 7 under and 7 on top. So she says, go and rule them. He says, I don't want to rule. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in anything that you can offer except the fact that you will consider me as a suitor. And she kills him. And in Devi Puranam, when she kills Mahisha, she actually, in the calendars and the pictures, the normal pictures you see, Deve Devya Trishulakshata Mahisha Jusho Rektadhara Jayanti. That is, she pierces him with a trishul and kills him on his chest. But actually, what she does is, she takes out a chakra called Sunapa and chops his head, slices his head off. And from that sliced neck, she finds a Srividya come out and merge into her. She can't understand what is it. It's a terrible moment for both of them. He, because the lady he loved has killed him. And she, because she has to kill somebody who loves her so much. She knows that. And of course, the information comes to us when it is Shiva Parvati Sambhashana. And she goes back and she asks Shiva, what is it that I have witnessed? What is this thing that has happened? And Mahisha asks her something for which she has no answer. Mahisha says, you came to kill me. The avataram is to kill me. Your janma uddesham is to kill me. Why did you make me fall in love with you? You could have just killed. So she has no answer for that. And this is somewhere it is in her mind. So she asks Shiva. She narrates the whole incident. And then Shiva comes with this very interesting answer. So she says, I don't understand. Shivalinga came out of Mahisha and it merged into me. So then Shiva asks her a question. Shiva says, do you think there is anybody in the universe who can love you as much as I love you? I was Mahisha. I took the form of Mahisha. Believe me, this is not my imagination. It's there in the text, okay? I wrote a book on this based on research. Unfortunately, we are very familiar with the Durga Sapsati, which is the Devi Mahatmya. We don't go beyond. So in this there is a lesson. There are no absolute blacks and whites. When Mahisha is able to love Bhagavati like this, can you write him off as a totally evil person? So these are the questions which we have to ask ourselves. And as for Srividya, there are as many forms of Srividya as there are practitioners. There are schools of Srividya, but somehow, in my personal experience, somebody initiates you, tells you this is the path. Your guru, that is what I was discussing with Swamiji. Your parents are your biological choice. Okay. Or appa or amma. They have a kid. It's a biological. There's no other choice. But your guru is your free choice. Because for a guru to accept you, or for you to accept a guru, there is a certain freedom of choice. Nobody can say that I will be born through this woman or this, this இந்த ஆளை எங்க அம்மா இருக்கும் அந்த ஆளை எங்க அப்பா இருக்கும்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. Even the appa and the amma cannot say that this will be this kind of person will be my child. But in the case of guru, there is choice. It's an act of will. And what is guru? Guru is somebody who shines a light into you and says, see, all he or she does is show. Okay. And the greatest guru is considered to be Shiva as Dakshinamurti. And what he imparts to his students is Bhagavati in the form of Vidya. This is a center of learning. This is a center of experiences. This is a this is a place, you can feel it when you walk in. This is a place where things are freely discussed, because I have told Swamiji, don't expect me to make a very nice, sweet speech, because I don't know how to speak like that. I don't want to speak like that. I have been blessed by somebody who throws out an idea at me and says, he's from North India, he says, Bachchi, defend it. And then you sweat. You really sweat. So that is the kind of guru which I've had the great fortune to have. And learning cannot come except through discussion, except through sharing ideas. Please understand, there are 100 things which everybody in this room knows, which only they know. Irrespective. Somebody might be a pandit, somebody might be an idiot, but that idiot might know many things which the pandit may not necessarily know. So look at people with an open, always, you should be an Ajivananta Shishya, which means you should be a Shishya forever. See, the moment you stop learning, please die. That's the best way. And in these days leading up to Vijayadashmi, which is, of course, Vidyarambham, all I can wish and pray for all of you is that every second that we are alive, all of us, every second that we are alive, every second that we breathe, our ignorance should diminish and our knowledge should become more. And may this happen by the grace of Sri Mahakali. Sri Mahakali Arpan. Thank you.
Sureshwara, the great disciple of Adi Shankara, refers to in his Brihadaranyaka Vartika, Yaya bhavet pumsam vyutpatif pratyagatmani sa saiva prakriya cheha sadhvi sacha anavasthita. Whatever way a person tries and attempts to realize that Brahman, that is the method for him, and that is the good method, and those methods are innumerable. As many practitioners, as many paths. She has beautifully said, even in Srividya, as many practitioners. That's why Srividya is considered very close to Advaita, and there is a famous proverb. Who is an Advaitin? Antas Shaktaha, Bahis Shaivaha, Vyavaharetu Vaishnavaha. That is Antas Shaktaha. He is a Shakta, he is a Srividya Upasaka inwardly, and Bahishaivaha, he must sport Vibhuti only, and Vyavaharetu Vaishnavaha. And whenever somebody prostrates, they don't, since there is no personality involved, no individual attachment to the person who prostrates, to whom it is prostrated, it is all to the Lord, inner Antaryamin. Hence they simply say Narayana, Narayana. Whenever something is completed, they utter God's name. So Vyavahara, the word Vyavahara means walk. Vyavaharaha, Vak Prayogaha, Shabda Prayogaha. They said Vyavahare Vaishnavaha. That is, they utter the names of Vishnu. And she has, that is while referring to Mrs. Lakshmi, she is a journalist both inwardly and outwardly. That is another, I mean, she is just traveling. She is not only a traveler in the external sense, that is in the outward, a pilgrim, but inward pilgrims also. That inward and the pilgrim's progress. And she has beautifully brought out from Devi Purana. We are only conversant with Devi Mahatmya, where the Mahishasura Vadha is presented as Mahisha is a demon. And now Mahisha is not simply a demon. Every person has got his own. Say, for example, Ravana is a good person for the people of Lanka. He is not a demon for the people of Lanka. If he were to be a demon for the people of Lanka, even before Rama coming there, the people themselves would have revolted. So, he was a good king for his own people. For others he may be bad, for majority of the people he may be bad, but not at least for the people of Sri Lanka. So there is not a single incident of what is called the people revolting or speaking. At least Valmiki has not referred to it. Whether he might have been there or not, we can go only by Valmiki, and we cannot have our own inner what is called intuition and things like that to say what has happened during the times of Rama and Ravana. We have to go by Valmiki, and Valmiki had not referred to any such thing. Except in some instances, some characteristics. In other things, he is presented only as a beautiful. I mean, there are lots of stories. If you go into it, all those things, there will be. I mean, the time will be something different. And she got right now. I mean, yesterday she presented Lakshmi Ude Sondam Swadhi Tirunal. That was the talk she delivered yesterday at RK Center. And from right there, she had come here. And how? I mean, Mahishanudai Sondam Bhagavati, like that. And that has been beautifully presented. And thank you, ma'am.